Yes, sir.
All right, let's do this. We're recording, so you can start whenever.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What up, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the Polonese Podcast, where we take a trip to Smack City and talk about some pop culture right afterwards. I'm your host, Big L. With me, as always.
It's Red Diablo.
And it's teacher Ernie P. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we up in the mix, yo. All in the mix.
Mixing it up.
Three Latino males just mixing it up. We're all different, but yet so much the same.
Yep. According to Hollywood, we're all Mexican.
We're
We're
or
all
Puerto
Mexican
Rican.
and we all speak Puerto Rican.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into it. It was a bit of controversy I've been experiencing for the past couple of days, but let's start off with talking about In the Heights that I was able to see on HBO Max the other night, and I enjoyed it. It was a good film. It was pretty. Had some great scenes in it. What I didn't like was it didn't feel like a Dominican story, even though the lead character was Dominican. His storyline was him leaving the Heights to go back to DR, and I did not feel that connection with that character like that. Like oh yeah, he's Dominican. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what I was telling you guys earlier, like there wasn't like a fucking dímelo or que lo que at all in this fucking movie.
Did
That's
they even
also
speak
why,
Spanish?
huh?
Did they even speak Spanish?
Yeah, he spoke Spanish. There was a good amount of Spanish in it, but it was I don't know, man. It was just weird. Like the thing was that like Jen was like, "Yo, it didn't feel like I was connecting to it." And like she was hyped to see the movie. She really wanted to see the movie, and I was like, "Yeah, it just feels weird. It feels off. Like it's just like it's pretty much just like a generic Hispanic Latino movie. You know what I mean? Just like it could be anywhere. It's not like the Heights. You know what I mean? You have like the locations that everybody knows they're from the Heights and they're gorgeous shots and whatever. But you don't feel like you're connected to the neighborhood. You feel like it's just a production. It felt like a play. Yeah, it felt like I understand it's a play. It was a play before the film, but
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like that. Like it didn't. It was like afraid to go into like the live action and just get like, all right,
Like real with it. Like it was more like you can tell that basically the background was the Heights and that's it. Like,
yeah,
just the background, like the way you see on a stage, is like, oh, the
Like a
you know,
painting in
like
the
Ex-
background.
like a painting, yeah, like a mural, whatever. That's it. It's just, oh, the Heights.
yeah, it's the Heights.
And then it's Romeo and Juliet, whatever story.
It sounds it sounds like this is what someone's interpretation of the Heights would be.
Yeah, I mean he does live there. Like he grew up there, or whatever. So it's like his
Okay.
version of it. But I'm like, yo, just make it a Puerto Rican guy then, and just make it about Puerto Rico or whatever.
Made
And
by
just
Yeah.
you.
The
yeah,
Bronx.
just make it about you. Don't just oh he's Dominican, but I don't know, man. I just felt fucking off, bro. It was just weird. It was just weird, and like the way people are connected to this film is just fucking weird itself. So I'm just like it's like pretty much when Black Panther came out, like you weren't allowed to say anything bad about Black Panther, like yo, no, don't you dare say anything bad. They're not gonna let us make movies anymore. If we say anything bad about this, you know what I mean? It's like we're not gonna get this opportunity back. We're not gonna get this opportunity again anytime. And that's like I've been seeing that shit a lot today. And I'm like, yo, for real, y'all mad corny because y'all motherfuckers, y'all weren't fucking hyping Vampires versus the Bronx like this. And I was like, oh, all Hispanic cast, bro. And I was like,
Wow.
the Hispanic director behind the camera too. Not like they had like the Asian director from Crazy Rich Asians from who grew up in California and he's directing shit about the Heights. And I'm like, all right, so you guys just made a fucking Freddie was saying a lot of land version of the Heights.
Was the songs even good?
Yeah, nah, they had some bangers in it. You know what I mean?
'Cause I'm assuming it's all like stupid Hamilton rapping. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, because that's the thing too. Because like that's the one of the reasons why like I stopped watching Hamilton after like 20 minutes. Because
it
it's
was
like,
corny.
yo, and they sing while they're having conversation. It's not even like part of the song. It's just like it's like obviously they're taking a break before like I guess from singing or whatever, just to sing, but not really sing, but they just talking.
Mhm.
They're like sing talking, like having conversations, but like singing
Oh my
about
god.
mundane shit. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, but can musicals just chill out and just talk like regular, like
That's
for
what I'm
and
saying.
just bust out a song when it's time?
So like the
But
whole movie was like that, like just music playing the whole time, like they're just singing the whole time.
no, there was like actual conversation breaks and stuff like that before like songs or whatever. But like there was a point that they'll have like the flow will stop of the movie will stop because like somebody will start singing
Talking.
and like yeah, but like talking.
Okay.
And I'm like, why you switched it up for no reason? Like, if you're not gonna do it, if you're not gonna break out into a song, I don't know, man. That shit was just weird, bro. I don't know if it's because of musical, but I'm like, I like musicals for most of the part. Like, I'm a fan of musicals, but this shit just felt to me like it was just all over the place. Like, I don't know. I didn't get it.
It was probably trying too hard to. I haven't seen the movie, just to be clear to all the listeners.
Yeah, me neither.
I call it. It just seems or sounds like it's they try to be a play to make a play a movie. You know,
Yeah,
and it just probably didn't work. I guess.
yeah, because it didn't feel like there was no heart in it, man. Like, it was. People really think I'm a hater for saying shit like this, bro.
And most musicals I don't like, but hearing about
Yeah,
this, like I know it'll drive me crazy.
yeah, because it's like I know this place, and it's like you guys just suck everything that's about this place and just put it in this musical. But it's like okay, because all of a sudden, like the Heights is like this big melting pot of everybody. Like it's pretty much like Queens, because you're gonna have like all types of like you got like the South Americans, and you have like the Dominican spread over here, and then the fucking Puerto Rican spread over there. And it's like okay, but the Heights is not really like that though. Like
Yeah.
Everybody has their own little section in every part of New York.
yeah, it's like yeah, I'm not saying there's not Puerto Ricans in the Heights, but it's like come on, like all right, like
Yeah, there's like
Yeah,
there's a part.
way more Dominicans in the Heights.
yeah.
Yeah, and the Heights is I don't know if the data is correct, but it's like 80% Dominican. They say so.
Yeah,
It's like
like
all right,
all the kids I knew in my building were Dominican.
yeah, exactly. For people that we grew up, and it's not like we just stayed in our block
Hmm.
while we were living there. So that's the thing. Like like you can't even critique it because it's like people take offense because like oh you're trying to say like Puerto Ricans will live there or like there was a part that they were deciding to have a carnival. Like exactly because that shit happens all the time in the Heights, right?
Yeah.
Like we could have a just have a carnival and just fucking start singing and and it's like they have like the equal amount of Dominicans. There's like my Dominicans and I think the Dominican flags and like the Puerto Ricans with the flag, the Mexicans
See what's
and
going
the
on.
yeah
Like
yeah
it's pandering to all the Latinos. You know, it's a movie about all Latinos. That's what it
Yeah.
Eh,
is. But
yeah because
it just they fuck it up by being like in the Heights. You know what I mean? Like
yeah they're
it
trying
doesn't
to
even
get
make
the
sense.
yeah you could tell like all right you're trying to get the demographic because as a lot of people know Latinos uh Latin people let me just say have like pretty much the second most spending habits behind like black people I think like going to the movies and stuff like that so they'll spend money to go to the movies you know what I mean
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that's why I'm like is this because I never seen the play so I don't know if it's like is this part of the play like is this like they really try to do this shit in the play too like so I don't know if it was like it was supposed to be like this melting pot of all these nationalities in the Heights of all of a sudden you know what I mean when I could throw you 10 blocks away from where I'm at, and it'll still feel the same 10 blocks that you just left. You know what I mean? Like it's still gonna be mad Dominicans around,
Yeah, it's true.
and
Maybe this movie takes place in the future.
when the
When people,
gentrification has taken over
yeah,
completely.
when
And
everybody
everybody's
finally
changed.
becomes one.
Yeah. and everybody sings when they talk.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too. It's like, yo, they got like, 'cause the casting agents for this movie were white. So I'm like, all right. You have the guy from California that doesn't know shit about the Heights. So his perspective, like he had his own issues with Crazy Rich Asians with the whole colorism shit. Like he was just casting the lighter skinned Asians, but the majority of Asians in the Southeast were darker than he portrayed on film. But the ones that
Oh
were
wow.
dark were always like the servants or in the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he has a habit that should have been like because that's the thing with my. Well, this is the thing too with me because you announced In the Heights, right? It's supposed to be this big Latin, like it was supposed to be like is quote unquote our Black Panther, right? It was supposed to be like our thing, like yeah, it's like In the Heights, we're gonna do it. You get like Asian director, you know what I mean? Imagine Black Panther wasn't directed by a black guy. How wild that shit would have been. You know what I
Why
mean?
why didn't Lin-Manuel Miranda just direct it?
And that's another thing that irks me too, because he's directing a movie that's coming out. His first movie's coming out that he directed, starring Andrew Garfield. It's called like Tick Tick Boom, and it's about the life. It's like a semi type autographical story about the guy who created Rent, the musical.
Okay.
So yeah, exactly, Ernie. The face you just made right now, my God. Like you decided your first film that you wanted to do instead of the first thing that got you on the map, the first thing that put you in the circle of fame,
Yeah.
In the Heights, your baby that you created.
Mhm.
You ended up like you're not gonna direct it, but you're gonna direct some random ass story, musical shit about somebody else. And that shit, like, that was like, come on, dude. Like, that shit would have even made more money if you were to make that move and directed the film yourself.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense. And that right there, when I first heard about that, that shit kind of threw me off. Right? That shit was like, it was like, all right, whatever. I'm not gonna be one of those people that bitch about it because it's just like, oh, I want a Latin film director. It would have made sense though. You know what I mean? You have a lot of people a lot of Latin filmmakers that's been on the busting their ass for years behind the scenes and in front of it that were out there that you could have used, but you chose another direction. Whatever, fine. That's your call. You know what I mean? It's your movie, right? But then it's just like the casting, like your characters are mostly Dominican, and the Dominicans you have cast, the one girl is Puerto Rican, but she's Dominican in real life.
Oh.
So instead of making Dominican, yeah, exactly, bro. It's the shit that boggles my fucking mind. Like, what? That's just weird to me, bro. It's like just shows me that the people casting this and are behind the scenes didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
I have no idea what they do.
No idea what they were doing.
And then these
'Cause
people are probably just happy to be in a movie that they're like, okay, sure.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'll play whoever, I don't care.
And don't get me wrong, like these people, like they're cool, whatever. Like the actors, there was like some cringe worthy like scenes. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that later, but it's just come on, bro. It's just like wild to me. It's like, all right, she was like dark skinned. She was Afro Latino, but she was Puerto Rican in the film, but she's Dominican in real life. So I'm like,
Yeah.
why she couldn't be like one of the other leads that was supposed to be Dominican? We have a Mexican actress playing a Dominican girl instead of having a Dominican girl play. That's one. I don't know if you guys ever saw Orange Is the New Black.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the girl, there's like the Spanish girl that was in that, like
Yeah, she's like some thick.
Dasha Blanco, like she's thick, like
Yeah.
she looks good and everything like that. Her character was just created for the film. She wasn't even in the play. So her character like took like lines from like multiple, like it was like multiple, like four characters and they just made one person, right?
Okay.
But they made her like the over sexualized, Dominican girl woman that works in the hair salon, always doing a perejito, like backing the ass up on people and shit like that, and always wanting to fuck. So I'm like, all right, so you got like one Dominican as like the stereotype, another Dominican playing the fucking a Puerto Rican, and then you just got these other nationalities playing Dominicans, and it's like, weren't any like Dominican actors available to like to be in this shit? And I don't know, bro. It was just weird, man. It was just fucking weird, bro. And like people getting upset because I bring that shit up, and it's like it's true though.
Yeah, it is true.
It's true. Like one guy was just like, "Oh, but it's based on his experience, and then he didn't ever experience the heights that way." I'm like, bullshit is his experience because his character is Dominican, as his character owns a fucking bodega. I'm pretty sure he didn't own a fucking bodega there. So what the fuck you telling me?
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of that going on back and forth. So nobody wants to have like a rational discussion about this shit. I'm like, all right, bro, it's whatever.
God.
And it's like it makes me hate the film even more, and like it like amplifies its faults with me now because it's like, oh, all right, but you want to do this? They have a black guy, right? He's the guy from The Walking Dead. He played Dr. Dre too in the NWA movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's in it, right?
Mm-hmm. He's the
And,
only black guy in the movie, right?
The only black guy in this movie, but he works. Bust that out. He works in a taxi dispatch in the Heights. So you're like, because of course, every time you get one of those taxis from the Heights, you always hear like a person talking English, like from the dispatch, right? You don't hear like no fucking crazy Dominican talking mad fast. You understand what the fuck they're saying. No, you gotta have some guy.
You don't hear alien language coming out from the little box they have there.
The fucking micro machine guy fucking talking over the radio in Spanish. But no, you're gonna have just a random black guy, just to have a black guy. You're gonna have a black guy do so many other like roles in that film, but just have him there. So you see, that would have been a perfect role for an Afro Latino guy to be in if you to do that, right? Make it realistic.
That would have been a perfect role for a stereotypical Dominican guy. So
Yeah,
at least to make fun of itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, the comic relief.
Yeah, some little thing, like just I don't know.
Yeah, but it was just like the comic relief was like a sassy co-worker or whatever, and she says one line, and that was it. And it was like, all right, I wouldn't believe this guy works in a fucking a taxi dispatch in the Heights. I'm like, all right, that shit threw me off.
And that's also like mad dated. Like people have Uber now, so like people not even understanding like what the hell those car services are. Like there's kids that would not even understand what that joke is or what that role is for that guy.
Like what is he doing?
Yeah, like what are you talking about? What you could use Uber, or Lyft.
What do you mean you have to call this number and just ask for a taxi?
I think all the kids watching it are just on their phones.
That's true.
Oh man, but yeah, man, it was like little things like that. Like it's like, all right, this is like on some, it's on some bullshit. It's like some Disney-fied version of the Heights, which shit, whatever. So I'm like, it's not like, and it's like the thing that kills me too is the hype, bro. I'm like, don't overhype shit, man. Just let that shit, let's go watch the shit because that's the shit that ruined Hamilton for me too. Is the fucking hype, and it's just like, ugh. I'm like, I don't know, I gotta do fucking almost 4 hours of this shit. It's just like.
I still haven't bothered to watch Hamilton.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, come on, man. I was like, in my mind, I was like, isn't it kind of poor taste that, everybody knows Thomas Jefferson raped like his slaves and had kids with his slaves, and like they have a black guy being Thomas Jefferson in this fucking Hamilton thing. Like, what are you trying? Like, it's just like,
yeah.
It's like it's like he's I want to say like the man was mad talented, man. Like I ain't trying to shit on him or anything like that. He got skills, but it's just like it's a lot for self with him. You know what I mean? It's not like he's not representing. It's just like what he wants to do, but he'll sprinkle in like, oh, I'll put some black people and Spanish people in it and make it my thing. But it's like he's not making it something for black. Like why not make the story about a famous black figure back in the revolutionary times or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make a musical about the the black guy was the first person to get shot when people in Boston was throwing fucking rocks and bottles at the British soldiers and shit like that. I forgot his name right now, but he was like the first casualty they consider of the Revolutionary War was a black guy. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there was mad cool stories like that because you never know because nobody wants to tell these fucking stories because they want to make fucking George Washington and Thomas Jefferson black for some reason and just have them rap. And that shit's supposed to be groundbreaking.
Let's teach the kids history, but this time let's make George Washington black.
Yo, is that like that? Is that safe rap too? It's like that shit that you like you put for your grandmother and they're like, oh, I like rap. Rap is cool.
Respect all women and your friends too.
Yeah. That's one other thing too. Like, yo, that you people be gassing this dude up like he's spitting hot fire all the time. I'm like, it's like he's just rhyming to rhyme his story, bro. It's like he's like, whoa, like bars. Like,
He's a lyricist.
Yeah, it's just like all right. It's like a lot of remember how backpack rap was back in the 90s, like New York, like
Backpack
it's like the
rap?
boom boom. Yeah, it's like
like I go to the store and I'm gonna buy a hat or something like that.
It's like a Black Moon. You remember that song? Don't front. You know I got you open. Na-na-na. It's like a lot of they used to call it backpack rap. It's like old fashioned rap as it's better than the 80s shit, like to the hip hop, that shit, but it's like the 90s, more like the Nas type of shit.
I think I know what you're talking about, where it's kind of like verbal, like they're kind of talking, but like it's rapping, right? Like it's like telling a story or something.
Exactly, like that shit that he does. And I'm like, all right, you're a storyteller, I get it. But it's like, man, your fucking choices, bro. Like, what are you doing to this shit? It's like one girl like she was like talking about it. She was like she went to school and she was like the girl in the neighborhood that everybody was rooting for. You know what I mean? That she's so nice. She's like everybody loves her. Like she's smart. Like that shit. I'm like, yeah, we know women like that. We know people like that. But like the decision she was making in the movie that makes no sense to me. Like she's smart or whatever, and she gets like it accepts all these schools. Why would you pick a school? Stanford she picks, and I think that shit is like in Massachusetts or Connecticut. I don't know where the fuck that shit is at. I ain't trying to figure that shit out now. But instead of just staying in state, and since her thing was like she missed being on the block, like the block, and that's the thing. Like she says this line a couple times. Every time she says it, I just roll my fucking eyes. Like, oh. She's like, she'll be talking to the guy, and she's like, "Shh, I just want to hear. I don't want to say. I just want to hear my block speak to me right now, like that shit." Yeah, it was like something to that effect, and I was like,
Vomit a little bit.
I got a great skit about that too, but that's gonna be like off the air. I don't want to give it away now. But yeah, she does that a couple times. Then like this is like this big dramatic scene that because she's not going back to school because she doesn't want to go back to school because her dad's like paying too much money and she feels bad. And he's like he owns like the taxi dispatch that the black guy works in.
Yeah.
So he's so like part of it already to like the white people that are moving in, like the white business owners and shit like that. And it's another thing too, like Lin-Manuel, he gave an interview about the Heights, and he was like, we really don't have a villain in this because I really didn't want to make the gentrifiers, like people coming into the neighborhood or what people consider gentrifying the neighborhood, seem like they're bad guys, like that type of shit. And I was like, man.
See, that's what it is. It's like, where's the line? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Where are we trying to be proud and to be Latinos, or are we trying to be better than the shit that we do? You know what I mean? Like, or like hanging on the block or like selling drugs, whatever it is, or I didn't do that shit. I'm just saying, like people, that culture that like fucking hanging on the music blasting, fucking barbecuing in the corner, like barbecuing in the fucking corner, well, like next to a bodega. Like what type of shit is that? But like that shit that you would see, like so it's like either we're gonna go all out and be real, or we're gonna be like your version of that. And I guess it was his version of what he thought, it should be. That's all gentrification shit. They're not bad guys.
Yeah, if you wanted it to be like the Hispanic movie for Hispanics, you should have done it right.
Yeah, thing that bugs me. I'm like, you guys are promoting this shit like that's what it is, but it's like, nah, it really isn't. It's just like we just have a lot of Latino people in it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's dope to see shit like that. And it's like, but we have there's been Latino films before this, and there's a lot.
More accurate.
I couldn't name off the top of my head, bro. And people are acting like this is like. It's like, don't talk bad or we're not going to get any. I'm like, yo, we've been having fucking movies, bro. Like, the fuck you talking about? Yo, I told Jen, because she's like, I've never seen Raising Victor Vargas. I'm like, yo, you watch the movie, I could feel you. They're Dominican. That family's Dominican. You could tell, like, off the bat, you're laughing. And check out my post. I posted on Facebook when I put, like, Raising Victor Vargas is better than In the Heights. Everybody's either quoting a line from the movie or like, like just showing mad love. I'm like, you're not gonna get that from The Heights. I can't even remember any fucking lines like this. Oh yeah, there's one thing. Like part of the song was like the chisme, the chimosas and all that shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the things like no me digas, no me digas. That was the thing. I guess that was the thing that people are coming away with it. Yeah. That's the only thing I remember for that fucking movie, bro. It's like that's when they were like in the beauty salon, and it was like, "No me digas."
That's all. That's the only sprinkle of like, Dominican you're gonna hear in that movie.
Yeah, because even Jen was telling me like, "Yo, they're not even gonna say like, there's no slang, there's no Dominican slang that use like, and this is supposed to be the Heights, and it's like." The lead guy was good, but he was playing the Puerto Rican. Like it was like, the Puerto Rican, like no, he's
a Puerto Rican. He's that guy Anthony Ramos. He's really Puerto Rican.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like you could tell he's Puerto Rican, huh?
Okay, yeah, but I forgot he was playing a Dominican.
He was playing Dominican.
Gotcha,
yeah.
Because I was like in my head, like I really didn't know nothing about the film. Either that it was just based on his time in the Heights, right? Yeah. So I'm seeing the trailers and shit like that, and I'm like, oh, maybe like the guy looked Puerto Rican. So I'm like, oh, it's his story. Like I'm thinking like the guy was Puerto Rican in the play too, so I don't give a fuck or whatever. So I'm like, whatever, like that. But then I found out like, oh, he's supposed to be Dominican. I'm like, okay. I'm like, let me give it a shot. I'm not gonna even. Oh, I'm like, I want a Dominican guy playing. It's like whatever. Let me see how he pulls it off. I gave the dude a chance, but I'm just like, I don't feel this dude, bro. It's just like, it's nothing against the actor. It's just like, come on, man. It's not like, come on.
It's just most of the time you can tell the difference between a Puerto Rican and a Dominican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit is wild, bro. That shit was just crazy. So there was like one scene with the girl from Hold Up, Didn't Listen to My Block. That girl, right? Mm-hmm. She's having a scene with her dad because her dad's like selling pieces of his company to the white people. So she's telling him like, yo, I already the deadline passed for like the next semester. Like I'm not gonna be in school no more. Don't send any money, whatever. He finds out she's lying about that, and he made a deal to sell the taxi, the whole thing, to pay her way to school. Mm-hmm. So that was like the big dramatic scene in the film, right? That was like the tension, the problem, whatever. So at the dinner table, she's like, I don't want to go back there because I feel out of place. I want to be here with you and like the neighborhood and this and that, like the whole speech. And she gave this speech. She's like, I was searched on my first day in college by my roommate and the RA and shit like that. Because supposedly she moved, when the first day you move in the dorm, she met her roommate. Her roommate lost a necklace. So apparently they blame her. And, the parents got the RA involved and this and that. And they were searching her shit, like opening up her bags and all that shit like that. She was violated pretty much.
Yeah.
But the way she delivered that whole story was just like just rolling your eyes, like, oh. like wah wah wah, like they searched you. I'm like, oh. And she's like, I never felt like it was just I don't know, man. It was crazy, bro. The acting was all over the place sometimes. It's just the Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
She's in it.
She's like I think lesbian or whatever, or bisexual.
No, yeah, she's a lesbian. No, she's a lesbian because
Okay.
they did the Disney thing, right? Because they show a scene in the beginning that they're in bed together, and she kisses the girlfriend on the cheek.
Mm.
But I was like, it was just mad quick. It was like a montage of people getting up in the heights. So they did that Disney like, oh, gay representation. Here it is, man. and then throughout the whole movie, they're always together, but it's always three of them. It's like the couple, and it's like the Dominican chick, the over sexual girl, and it's like that. And you're like, if you didn't notice that they were the same people that were sleeping in the same bed and kissed each other in the morning, you wouldn't know that they're a couple because you never see it after. You know what I mean? You don't see it in the movie. You see like they're close to each other, but it's like more like friends type. Like you don't feel it as a relationship.
Like they could be sisters or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or it was just weird, bro. It was just weird. I don't know. That fucking movie is just I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess he's not for me.
Yeah,
But I was just like,
this movie has its audience.
yeah, I guess so, man. It's whatever. I just don't appreciate people fucking assuming the worst out of people because they don't fucking like a movie, though, man. That shit's wild for me.
Your race is against only Puerto Ricans.
Yeah. No, it's that I'm the hating. I'm a hater. Like,
You're just hating.
how am I? It just I'm critiquing and giving my opinion about some shit. I support it. I watched the shit, right? I watched the fucking 2.5 hours of this shit.
You said in your post like it's not. I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
But like, didn't Lin Manuel Miranda have to like apologize because?
Yeah, because exactly. Yeah, he had to because he dropped the ball. He said he's like I dropped the ball. I'm like yeah, you dropped the ball, and then the white people and the Chinese guy fucking handle all the shit that you supposed to be looking at.
Yeah.
Like make it shit more realistic, bro. And it's not being racist saying that shit because it's true. It's like you have people that don't live in the heights making a movie about the fucking heights and making decisions about who's gonna be in it. And it's just like, oh, that's just whack, bro. We're to the point that you have enough fucking Lin Manuel Miranda has fucking enough power to be like, I want an all Spanish, whatever.
Yeah.
All Latin crew, writers, producers, all that shit, and he'll get it. And he didn't. And it's just man, he's shady for that for me. I don't know, man. It's shady to me that you're directing some other movie and you didn't want to direct this. You know what I mean? It's just like what? You just want to impress these people instead of impressing your people. You know what I mean? Like that's just whack, man. It's just whack to me, bro.
Sure, they
I don't
just
know how people
made that
be.
into like some movie. At least to me.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like I don't know. It's just weird, man. That dude was just weird, and I find out all the other shit about him. Fucking getting bullied in high school and shit.
He was a bully in high school?
No, he got bullied in high school.
Oh, he got bullied.
Yeah, yeah by that rapper, Immortal Technique.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah, he sent me that This is a Mero video about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, did they go to some like specific school or something? Because they would like.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Because I think because in Immortal Technique, he was a smart kid, but he was just he was troubled and shit like that. So I think that was it was just weird that it was just those three random ass people. You had Chris Hayes, which is like the white reporter guy from CNN, Immortal Technique, which is like this rapper that activist that he's like some Rage Against the Machine type of shit he raps about. And then you got Lin Manuel Miranda in the mix, like all in the same school. And all three of them had like decent like careers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened, but he got bullied.
Something about like singing a song in a trash can, like or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Stupid shit you get like bullies do. You know what I mean? Like they put you in a fucking thing and they rap there's like the rap song about this shit that they did.
Yeah.
Like,
So like, yeah, that's what that video said. Whatever, because hey,
Yeah, I remember that. Imagine that was like his fucking villain origin story, and then Manuel. That he was like, "I'm gonna destroy the one thing you love, rap." And just like, just because he got bullied by fucking Immortal Technique. I'm gonna come out with some whack ass rhymes about the Revolutionary Wars and shit.
oh my god,
Oh fuck, man, that guy. Well, if you're looking for, if you're into musicals and you like to see, you like to watch and have a good time and enjoy the fantasy aspect of them, go ahead, watch The Nights. If you're going in expecting some like real like life heights, shenanigans, hijinks, whatever, some believable shit, you're probably not gonna find it here.
yeah.
Some of the songs are great though, and some of the shots are beautiful to look at. So there's that.
I'm still waiting for Harlem Nights, but in the Heights.
Harlem Nights musical.
Yeah, Heights Night.
But
Not
I think
Rolofsky.
Frey was just talking about Harlem Nights, but with Dominicans.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Like that type of movie.
it's gonna be a frustrating ass movie, but realistic.
Yes. Oh man, I'm trying to see if there's anything else in this movie. I'm like, yo, yeah, I think I'm done with this. It's just like, oh, it's like the lead girl. Like her thing was like she wanted to leave the Heights to move downtown to become a fashion designer, but she worked in the beauty salon, and she was like the love interest for the bodega guy. So her thing was like, "Oh, I'm like, bitch, you work in a hair salon in the Heights, but you want to move to downtown, like by West Four and shit like that." And like she had like an apartment application, and the rent was like $2,100 a month. I'm like, bitch. I'm like, there's no way. You like she lives like in the beginning. She lives like in an apartment in the Heights by the train. I guess the one train. You know how like it's like outside and the buildings are right there.
Yeah.
She lives like one of those like apartments. So you're probably paying like 800, 900 a month for that fucking shitty ass apartment. What makes you think you're gonna be able to pay $2,100 on a fucking hairdresser's salary?
She's me living in the same place, working in that new job.
But it's like, yeah, that's the thing too. The fashion designer that she's trying to find inspiration, and she finds it in the Heights, and she realizes that the Heights is like this her home. That she pretty much is like the Heights is home, and we're never leaving. That type of shit.
So it's such a so it's a lot of the way it sounds is very Broadway, musical bullshit because it's all like, oh, like I want to go downtown and like that's where like you made it when you live in like fucking Soho and shit, like where when you go to Soho it's shitty just like anywhere else. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just because no matter what you're paying expensive, you're paying a fucking high price for a shitty apartment.
Just for the reputation of the area.
Yeah, that's all it is. Oh, so it's like, but it's so like, I don't know, it's so musical-ish about like it's such a play about it.
It romanticizes all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I guess, bro. I guess that's like they could do that tired ass storyline. It's just like, yo, come on.
It definitely feels very like it took a lot of like old old plays, like that whole genre of like one, like it's like fucking, what's it, Little Shop of Horror when he's like, I gotta get out of here, blah blah blah. Like basically he lives in like a crappy, crappy like neighborhood. He wants to get out of there. He wants to go downtown.
Yes, that's what it is. It's pretty much that.
Exactly. It's all that shit.
it's like it's just mad predictable, right? Because it's like somebody happens to win the lottery from the bodega for $94,000, right? So everybody's trying to figure out who is it, who is it. But in the beginning of the film, is the little grandmother comes in to get her lottery ticket that she always gets. So once like me and Jen heard like somebody won the lottery, it was like, all right, the old lady won, right?
Yeah.
Meaning that she's gonna fucking die because she's old, and it's gonna be like which spoiler alert. I'm sorry, guys, it happens. she dies. It was a very beautiful moment. She had a whole song before she died, and like they used the tunnels and when I need first, the long ass tunnels, those.
Yeah.
They used it like as like the metaphor of either going to heaven or staying on earth. So once you get out the train station, that's like heaven. And the way they shot it was pretty dope. Like her, like, all right, I'm gonna die now and go to heaven. And it's her walking up the stairs. I mean, that was a good scene. But like, you knew where that character was going. Her storyline was going in like the first 25, 30 minutes. It's like, all right, she's gonna die. Leave the money to this guy so he can stay here and take care of the bodega. Yada yada yada. The end. So it's like a lot of that. It's like a lot of tropes that you've seen like in mad movies already, but with Spanish people.
Yeah.
I always thought those tunnels lead to hell.
Oh, the hell, the hell, the hell of Lin Manuel's fan base.
Hell, which is a room full of all his fan base yelling at you about
He's a
criticizing
genius. They're not gonna make any more movies if you don't stop.
I don't hate it, God.
Yeah. I said it was okay.
I'm sorry.
It's like a lot of people are like, you could tell a lot of people are giving it the high ratings because it's like they don't want to be that guy not to give it a high rating. So it's like it's just like 99% on Rotten Tomatoes because you don't want to be that one guy. It's like it was all right.
You don't want to be called the Uncle Juan.
Yeah, the Uncle Juan.
Yo, I was born and raised in the Heights, and I don't want to watch this shit.
Yeah, no, a majority of the people I know from the Heights don't want to watch this shit. So I feel justified in my fucking critique of it since I lived in the fucking Heights, and yeah. Maybe I should have watched the play and see what I was getting myself into. I don't know. Maybe that was all me. But I don't know. If you call some shit in the Heights and you have the character be fucking Dominican, I expect some Dominican shit to happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not even like a hit cousin that came straight off the boat, like for comic relief. You know what I mean? No hanky panky, none of this shit.
Was anybody eating out of a tin foil plate?
No. Nothing. No hookah. Not a hookah in sight.
No dominoes.
No, they had dominoes. Oh. Well, that's a game that everybody plays. Cubans, Puerto Ricans.
Okay,
so I was
that's
like,
true.
We can do this. No chimney trucks. Nothing, bro. Nothing.
No drug dealers that everybody in the block knows.
The what?
No drug dealers that everybody in the block knows.
No.
And are like friendly with.
Negative stereotypes. That would be considered a negative stereotype.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. It's all. That's why they have to cast everybody mixed. Like I'm surprised there wasn't an Asian playing a Dominican. Because it's like let's make the Mexican girl Dominican and the Puerto Rican Dominican and Dominican Puerto Rican and make that guy Cuban. And like that guy's black. Oh, he's Cuban in this movie. Like
we're diverse.
Spanish. I was supposed to know this.
Yeah. Message.
He's Cuban. That's why he's working in taxi dispatch. He knows Spanish, but he just never uses it.
Hello there, all my fellow taxi drivers who could speak this language.
Yeah, there's one scene where there's a blackout. This guy goes to the dispatch to help out during the blackout. I'm like, how? I'm like, nigga, there's no street signs, like street lights. Like nobody's driving nowhere. They're like, where you going? But they made it like such a heroic moment, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not.
It's
All these
stupid.
dudes are sitting in traffic right now, assed out because there's no fucking electricity anywhere. So, they should have had like one mad Dominican guy get pissed off, like get the kid out my huevo, you know? Há un topón aquí, coño.
Un trompón.
None of that, bro. None of that. I don't know. It was just wild to me. The storylines were just all over the place. I'm like, all right.
There wasn't a bad guy in the movie.
No.
There wasn't any like heights dangers.
No. The blackout. I thought shit was gonna pop off in a blackout. No cops beating on nobody. Nothing. Yeah, it's wild because the dad sold the taxi dispatch to the white people. So that's never touched upon again. And like there was like a beauty salon that got priced out, so they had to move to the Bronx. So I'm like he's like fucking being like, yeah, gentrification is not too bad, guys. It's just the way of life. We gotta just roll with the punches.
We'll just move to the
It's like-
Bronx.
and I'm like, yo, I'm looking back and I'm like, yo, two local businesses just got fucking shut down, nigga. Like, yo, what you trying to say?
And they didn't get saved.
No, there's no like, there wasn't a fucking bachata concert to save the fucking dispatch.
That would have been so much better.
Yeah. Yo, if you're gonna fucking make fucking Electric Boogaloo 2, but with Dominicans saving the heights instead of these guys saving the hospital by breakdancing. Dominicans saving the heights by dancing bachata.
Or like a cameo from Aventura or something.
That would have legitimately been cool.
Aventura cameo. No one, not one Aventura cameo in this fucking.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be the Heights? Is that supposed to be the Heights?
That's like the band of that's the Heights band.
No, they're from the Bronx.
Everybody in the Heights loved them though. Like when they
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
their posters were all over the place.
You know how they were just throwing mad Spanish people in this shit. They had like the Kid Murrow as like a radio DJ in the beginning of the film. I'm like, all right, so you had a Dominican, but he's in the beginning of the film and he's from the Bronx. All right, good job. Like, he's just the voice. Like you can't even give him a fucking live action role.
Oh,
Like
wow.
Can't even show his face.
these things, they wilding, bro. They wilding with this shit, and they get mad when I point this shit out. I'm like, yo, you don't see this shit though. This guy got some
Pointing it
fucking
out.
nerve.
It's true.
Yeah, but I'm
why-
still an asshole.
Why are you getting so defensive about it?
The crab pulling other crabs down with me. Eh,
You just don't understand, Elmer.
I'm the
Heights
hater.
is very there's diversity.
They're fucking like Snyder fans with this shit. I swear, they're fucking annoying with this shit.
Yeah.
Hispanic Snyder fans.
Well, fuck that. I want the Mangu cut. Release that shit. You fucking
Yeah, I watched the
bastards.
Mangu cut.
Fuck out of here.
I'll take that
Take
with the
another swing of
butthole
that
cut
shit.
of cats.
Fucking musicals, man. Ugh, that shit probably even turned me off of musicals, man. Tired of this shit.
I already can't stand musicals.
The best musical I still ever saw in person was fucking the Nightman Cometh.
Wow. Shit.
Yeah.
That's the only
That
musical
would've
I'm
been
fucking missing. That's the only musical I want to talk about.
I can get behind that.
Well, let's switch it over to E3 because that happened during the weekend
Oh
also.
snap! Yeah, they're announcing a lot of games. I mean,
So
nothing like mind blowing
yeah,
that they revealed. I mean, a lot of pretty cool shit. For example, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hmm.
At first, I thought it was gonna be like the Avengers game, multiplayer and do all that shit, but it's actually a single player game.
Oh.
Yeah,
So you play Star Lord.
you only play as Star Lord.
so
It,
oh no,
but-
go ahead.
I was gonna say it kind of felt like like the Batman game or the Spider-Man game, just like with shooting,
Yeah,
kind of. It kind
and
of felt like that, like
I'm still getting it either
or
way
like
because that
Devil
shit
May
looks cool.
Cry.
But I
It kind
feel
of felt
like
like
it'll be cool
the,
if you could just play as the other characters and it could still be a
yeah,
single player game, right? You just choose a character for whatever stage and go. I want to play as Rocket Raccoon.
maybe I don't know. It seemed to me like it was just Peter Quill, whatever Star Lord.
Yeah, you could only play as Star Lord. You
Gotcha.
can't play as anybody else. And there's gonna be no DLCs, no microtransactions. It's just a straight up single player game, which is cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That is dope.
Yeah.
How do you use your, like Drax or Rocket? Like, how do you use them? You don't?
They just fight alongside you, like they're controlled
That's it.
by the computer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's just disappointing. Like I still get
Yeah.
it, of course, but it's disappointing. And they also announced No More Heroes 3, and they actually released the first two No More Heroes on Steam
Dope.
for like as a celebration for this announcement or whatever. But it looks pretty cool. It's the
But
same No More Heroes shit, but it looks better.
for
And
those that don't understand, who don't know what No More Heroes is,
oh right,
explain.
for those who don't know what No More Heroes is a game where you play a character who's moving up into the ranks of assassins or whatever.
Yeah.
So each stage you're fighting an assassin and moving up in ranks or whatever. It's pretty crazy. But
Yeah.
in this one, you're doing the same exact thing, but with superheroes. You're moving up in the ranks of superheroes by
Uh,
killing superheroes.
super. So
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I remember
Sounds
there
sick.
was like a superhero guy in the first one, wasn't there?
yeah. He was a superhero guy, but he was technically an assassin.
Gotcha.
I started replaying the first one today. I like it.
It's fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it's still good.
I'll check
Um,
that.
yeah, No More Heroes 3 looks great. It's gonna be on Switch. I think it's also coming out on Steam.
Mm.
They also announced Breath of the Wild 2,
That's
the Legend of Zelda that's on the Switch that you can explore all over the
Nice.
place. They're making a sequel to that one. I'm
nice.
super excited for that. I'm definitely getting that.
So,
What else? It's like they announced a WarioWare for Switch that I'm definitely getting. For those who don't know,
Well,
WarioWare is like a micro game compilation thing where like they tell you pick your nose, but they give you like 3 seconds to do that. So you have to like
yeah,
okay.
register in your head like, oh, I gotta pick my nose, and you have to move your hand to your nose and pick it before the time runs out.
it's like a brain games, like
Kind of like
type
that,
of,
yeah.
like puzzles and stuff.
Yeah, like all that on the Switch. That's gonna be fucking awesome. Oh, they announced a new Metroid, a 2D Metroid. I don't know if you guys are ever like Metroid fans. That's definitely not Ernie.
Uh,
I hope you grew up playing the first
maybe.
one.
Now
The,
I played Super Metroid because I have it on my Super Nintendo Classic.
Oh, okay, so they're releasing a Metroid in that style for the Switch, but like better graphics
Oh,
and shit. And
sick.
that's the one I'm most excited for. That shit looks awesome. Um, I'm scrolling through all these games to find anything interesting, but like all of them is like random shit, like
Did
re-releases.
you the Black Panther expansion for the
Oh,
Avengers
Black
game?
Panther expansion for Avengers. That looks awesome.
Yeah, man.
I'm super
Shit's
hyped for
sick.
that. Yeah, I'm so glad about Avengers because it's free for anybody who already has the
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that like everything that coming after now is gonna be fucking ridiculous, like
Oh yeah.
with the expansion packs. Cause like, did the Hawkman already come out? The Hawkeye one
Yeah,
come out already?
and
Okay.
apparently from a clip they showed in the trailer,
Uh huh.
the boss in that storyline is Maestro,
Yeah.
Evil Hulk,
oh,
like Evil Hulk
Wow.
from the future. For those who don't know, Ernie.
Damn. It's crazy because they have all these like characters and villains and shit like that. It's like, how is this game being slept on like this? I guess because people find like the controls boring or whatever, or the
It's
gameplay.
the gameplay is mad fun. It's just that the DLC is too much, man.
what do
It's
you mean?
Yeah.
fucking expensive, and like
Oh,
the way they do it is like they rotate all the DLC per week. So like, if you want a specific skin for your character and it's not available, you'll have to wait a week and until maybe it comes up and you could buy it.
Mm.
And then it's expensive as fuck.
And it's like your real money, not like game money or anything like that.
Well, yeah, you're buying game money to spend
Oh,
in the game.
yeah.
So you can't literally buy that specific thing for a specific price. You have to buy like 50,000 points and spend whatever amount you have and have
Yeah.
like 1,000 points just sitting there.
Yeah, exactly. Then they do that so that like you get more points so
Yeah,
that
exactly. You'll be
you
playing,
buy
be like, oh,
another
I have
game.
1,000 points and I kind of want that costume. Let me just get more points and
Yeah.
get that.
Hmm.
But then you have like 100 points left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's whack, bro. I never understood that shit.
Yeah, but it's
That's,
yo. If there's ever a sale, I'm gonna stock up on skins, man, because they have some really good ones.
yeah,
Like
I could imagine.
yo, all the Avenger Endgame skins, amazing.
Like the
Uh,
shit that should be free. They
yeah,
don't have
right.
it.
That should have at least been free, the Endgame one.
Yeah.
If you have a ticket for Endgame when you went to watch it when it came out, you could like scan it on your
Mhm.
computer or something and get the skins.
Okay. Haven't I given you people enough?
Yeah, I completely support you, Marvel. What else do you want?
Just give me some free skins.
I wish, right? Oh, speaking of games, they announced a new character for Smash Brothers,
But yeah, so that
and it's Kazuya from Tekken, which is the
Mm.
the main character from Tekken 1 with like the
the
slick back
Ryu guy.
hair with the yeah, exactly. The guy with no
Okay.
shirt and the red gloves with the
Yeah.
little balls in them. So that's pretty cool. Like they have, it looks like they're going to be adding like characters, like main characters from fighting games. So
Mhm.
hopefully we'll be getting Scorpion and Sub-Zero soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they already have Ryu and
Like,
Ken, Terry Brogard, Kazuya. Who else? I don't think
Ken
they.
Ryu's in fucking Smash Brothers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Oh shit.
But he was
I did
also
not know that.
wasn't he also in another game? Wasn't he like Wii U version
Ken and
too?
Ryu?
Ryu
Just
wasn't he
Ryu.
in?
He was in the Wii U version, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It just sounded like Wii U Ryu.
Wii U Ryu.
Wii U, Wii U, Wii U, Wii U.
Wii Wii
Wee,
Wii.
wee.
Like
That
the
Wee Wee.
what's it called? The Kung Pao.
Yeah.
Wii U, Wii U, Wii U, Wii U.
Yeah, but so like if they're gonna be adding all these fighting game characters, like they come on, they have to add Scorpion and Sub Zero.
Very dope.
Because they're just gonna have add Sub Zero. That's not enough. They have to add Scorpion with them.
Sure.
At least as an alt. No, it can't be an alt because it moves.
That's wild. That'll be crazy, man.
Yeah,
That should fucking everybody will buy that fucking game, I think.
that'll put me back on Smash Brothers mad hard to get nice with Sub Zero. I'm looking at the games list and I'm like skipping a lot of shit because it's not worthy to talk about. Um, Bethesda announced their new, like they showed like a trailer of their new game, which is Starfield, which I'm excited for. But after Cyberpunk, I'm gonna temper my excitement.
Damn.
So Starfield is basically Skyrim, but in space.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds dope.
yeah. But the trailer they released was just like a real time, but like cinematic thing. So it wasn't really like gameplay and shit. So I'm still a little skeptical, at least. Other than that, damn, nothing that stands out really. At least for me. Uh, yeah. Somebody managed to run the original Doom on a lamp.
What?
How?
Yeah. He- this has nothing to do with E3. But this guy took a chip from a lamp and like soldered it to a screen and programmed it to play the original Doom, and it worked.
Crazy.
So there's like a saying like Doom runs on everything. Like that shit seriously runs on everything.
But the original that is like super pixelated and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like the original Doom, not the latest one,
Gotcha.
which kind of runs on almost everything. Damn, like no games that like get me excited. Oh, they announced a Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale game. For those who don't know, a
What?
Battle Royale game is one of those games where like they put like 60 people in a giant area and everybody kills each other. Last man standing wins.
Fortnite, basically.
Fortnite. And this
Just
is this one's like Final Fantasy VII themed. So you're riding chocobos. You're just like soldier, like Final Fantasy VII soldier characters, shooting each other, or whatever. And it's only for mobile, only for cell phones. Yeah, this E3 is
Why would they
getting
do that?
yo. You know how much more it'll sell if they just release it also on
like
PC, Mac,
console.
whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit makes no sense.
None at all, man. There's a pirate game called Sea of Thieves where they have like a Jack Sparrow update or DLC or something. So this is basically a pirate MMO
Mm.
where you explore the seas, whatever, get treasure, build up your boat. And this update has Jack Sparrow where you fight like Davy Jones and shit like that with Jack Sparrow on your team. I thought it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard it's an original story too, right?
Yeah.
Oh. It's
Um.
like apparently it's canon to the movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I would like to play that.
Now that look good too. I like that.
Um.
Those are the same people that did that Fable game, right? It
Yes.
looks like yeah, it looks like
It's actually
Fable.
Rare. You know the company Rare, the
Correct.
people who made Donkey Kong Country. Uh, that's probably the only Rare games you guys are familiar with.
No,
Oh,
and wasn't like the bear, the raccoon that cursed and shit? Wasn't he rare?
Banjo Kazooie, the bear and the
Banjo
bird, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
squirrel that's always cursing conquers Bad Fur Day.
yeah.
And they
Yeah.
also made of course, how could I forget to mention this? 007 for N64. GoldenEye.
Yeah, they made mad classics back in the day,
Yo,
man.
for real,
Back in the
man.
90s.
That company sank so low.
Well, hopefully they come back with this shit.
And George R. R. Martin finally revealed his game, Elden Ring.
Ah,
And it's basically Dark Souls. Are you guys familiar with Dark Souls?
I
It's
mean,
basically one of those games that are like super hard for the sake of being hard. And you're playing like edgy ass knight killing edgy looking demons and stuff. It looks good, but I never got into those types of games.
Motherfuckers making video games, they can't finish his fucking
Yeah,
books.
for real.
Guy, bro. I'm done with that fucking guy, man.
Yo, gamers could be toxic though. I'm sure they harassed him to the point where he
Oh
he finally
boy.
released it. I'm typing.
Nah.
I'm typing. God, this is why I can't do Game of Thrones.
Fuck you, Carl.
Yeah, they announced some Call of Duty shit, but I have zero interest in Call of Duty. A lot of people are
Gotcha.
excited for it, apparently, but
It has its base.
it has its base, like the Heights.
Yeah, there you go. I was about to say that's the in the heights of video games, Call of Duty.
Oh, they also announced Halo Infinite, and it's coming out for PC also. That's gonna be
Yeah.
cool. I liked Halo.
that's another like like another part or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the latest Halo, the latest story and multiplayer stuff.
Because it's like the story. I forgot about the story.
I kind of
You
forgot
know,
about it too.
I only played part one. Like I finished part one, the story, but like it
Yeah.
was mostly to like play like online or
Yeah.
whatever. Like
It's a bunch of pew 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 stuff.
yeah,
I
exactly.
like that. And yeah, I mean, nothing amazing. Final Fantasy. Oh, Final Fantasy announced. Square Enix announced a prequel to Final Fantasy One.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
I forgot the name of it. It's called like The Stranger in the Land or some shit like that. Final Fantasy, but
Okay.
it's developed by Tecmo, the Ninja Gaiden people and Dead or Alive. So it's like a beat 'em up with Final Fantasy looking characters. It does not look interesting at all. It looks like generic ass anime game, and it's not an RPG. Uh,
The beat 'em up?
huh?
Or like a side scrolling? Is it side scrolling type?
No, it's a 3D beat 'em up. So
Okay.
it's like high end graphics or whatever. Um, I guess they're trying to kill the last boss from Final Fantasy Part One, and I guess this group fails, and that's when Final Fantasy One happens.
Mhm.
But we didn't need this.
And like, who remembers Final Fantasy One? They were like, you know what would be great? A prequel.
Yeah, I remember Final Fantasy One. I love Final Fantasy One, but I never thought like what happened before all of this. Because
Because they
Final
were
Fantasies
all
are
one-off stories. Like,
exactly they're all one-off stories, so it's like you don't need
why
to
bother?
know.
Yeah.
Leave that to the imagination. All that shit that
Hmm.
happened. And
So,
they also announced Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, which is more like a project that Square Enix is doing where they're remastering all the original Final Fantasies, like the pixel ones from 1 through 6, which is a cool idea, but like from 3 to 6, they already remastered that shit in decent looking a decent looking style. At least 3 and 4, the 3D ones. So, I'm only looking forward to 1 and 2 out of 1 through 6.
Oh damn. Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I'm reaching for game announcements. Like the C3 was worse than last year's, from what I
Yeah,
heard.
like the shit was mad boring this year. I wasn't hearing anything big or
Yeah,
anything like that. Freaking Sony didn't even show up, right?
no, Sony's not going to be in E3 at all. They can do their own thing.
So that's when we're probably gonna see Spider-Man 2 and all this other crazy shit.
Oh man, Spider-Man. Oh, I still want Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, oh man.
I'm gonna buy a PS4 for like $30 and just to play that shit.
Eh, Shit, by the time part two comes, I'm just probably will cost $40.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Nobody could buy a PS5, so I'm sure PS4s are still pretty
Oh
hyped.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing. People are still waiting to get the five and they can't, so they're like, "Fuck it,
Yeah,
give me the four." That's why like a lot of these new games, God of War is gonna be available for the four and the five.
yeah,
Um, what else? I think it was something else coming out. I was surprised that was coming out for the four. I forgot what it was though.
that's another game I want to play. God of War besides Spider-Man.
Oh
The
yeah,
the one on PS4 looks super good. The one that I bought you for
Yeah,
birthday.
bro, it's fucking great, man.
Yeah, I want to play
It's
that
like
game.
mad, like the fights and stuff like that. So much, like so crazy, so good.
Oh man, I'm so jelly of those games.
I forgot God of War was a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, God of War and Spider-Man, like it's like so far out of reach for me. I just want- In personal gaming news, I've been playing Ninja Gaiden, and it's super good. I love it. It's as good as I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like fast-paced ninja fighting, and it's super hard.
And this is a new version?
Nah, there's
No,
like
it's just
the
from like
old
2000.
school, not old school Ninja Gaiden, just old school
Mm.
Ninja Gaiden from like Xbox
Yeah,
years.
Oh, okay.
Xbox One, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Xbox One. I meant the original Xbox. Because there's
Okay.
Xbox
So it's
One.
Xbox. Yeah, there's Xbox One technically.
It's cool though. Like it's a compilation of all three Ninja Gaidens, the 3D ones. And when you buy it, it's not like one game where you load up and you have to pick which game to play. It's three separate games that gets added to your Steam library. That's pretty cool.
Oh,
Makes my library look bigger.
yo, didn't they announce like the Splinter Cell cartoon, and people were just like, just we want a fucking game.
Oh, really? There's gonna be a cartoon?
Yeah, I think it was an anime series,
Oh man.
and they show like not even like a scene or anything, just like a picture of the
They
animation style.
they should make a Splinter Cell game because they had a really good one back in the Xbox days
Oh yeah, no,
where
I used to love those ones.
yeah, they had like a multiplayer version where two people would try to sneak into a location, whatever, and like two other people would be guards. So you can make something really cool out of that with like the technology they have now.
Yeah,
Oh,
man, I don't know why they haven't made a new game yet. It's slacking.
I just thought of some game news. You guys remember that Kojima game, Death Stranding?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that game is considered by a lot of critics to be like super boring. It's basically a walking simulator. And
Damn.
they released a video for a version of it, but the way they released it and the video contained made you think that there's like some kind of a Metal Gear update for this thing. Like they
Mm.
showed the main character of this game like walk into an area and there's like mad guards, and he sees a box and he grabs the box and like looks at it and he like fucks around with it, but then he puts it back, and then he looks back and then the camera zooms out and it goes Death Stranding, director's cut. So just the director's cut of that walking simulator. Like there's no Metal Gear update to with cool Metal Gear missions and shit. It's just the
Wow,
same
wow,
bullshit.
wow,
It's because like you're walking from like one spot to another, and then there's a cutscene, and then you're walking from one spot to another, right?
Yeah, like you play a delivery man in the future. So you're delivering shit and your whole objective is to not fuck up your delivery, lose any items or whatever, and get to
What?
the point where you got to get to as creatively as possible.
Freaking.
that sounds so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's
So it's
Hideo
pretty much
Kojima, so some people enjoy it, and I'm curious about it. So if there's ever a sale, I'll get it. But it does not sound good.
it's like the Postman, the movie. It's like the
Yeah,
fucking video game.
it's Future the Postman. Like, yo, Kojima, just make Metal Gear. That's not Metal Gear.
It gives one of those. Gives a Deadpool to their Deathstroke.
Yeah, because he can't make Metal Gear anymore because he got fired by Konami, so he can make Metal Gear.
Yeah. What was going on, Ernie? You got some wrestling news for us?
Like so like I was like mentioning before, Triple H, who's basically like he's a wrestler, whatever, for people that don't know, and like he's behind the scenes guy now. Like he had a tweet for like the fans, because the fans, nowadays a lot of it is critiquing, critiquing the show and shit like that, which is natural because that's what we do. You
Yeah.
watch a show, any show, you critique it. You're like, oh, I didn't like this. Oh, I like that. That was dope.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Which you're entitled to, because
normal shit you're entitled to, exactly.
Mm.
So like fucking, he came out. And I don't remember word for word what he said, but it was basically it like bottom line was like either watch it or don't watch it. So it's like either you do watch it or you don't watch it. So like, don't complain about it. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing. This is like I tried, like say for instance, I tried watching last night. Monday Night Raw, And I felt like, like you start looking at like certain things, and it's like, okay, I get what's going on here, but like, there's no story. There's no story anymore. It's no longer like one long story. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you think of, if you really think about it, like the story of WWE, like where it's like, season, like if you look at Friends, like, oh, season 1 they did this, season 2 they did that, It's
Yeah.
but it's like one long story. There's a base, like it's these 6 friends and this and that, So there's no like story anymore. The only thing that they are really like, it's all little like episodes. It's only like one kind of long term story, and it's on SmackDown, and that's it. Like I feel like they kind of gotta, they. I feel like Triple H basically was like, I can't save this company. Like just don't watch it. Like just don't watch it. Like it's not gonna make sense to you. Don't watch
Yeah.
it. Like, that's all it is.
Wow.
This is what it seems like. It's just like, why should we watch it? There's nothing that's like gonna continue on. Like take for instance, like you'll watch a pay-per-view on Sunday, and then on Monday you'll see the rematches. Like you'll see the same matches because in this, they're just trying to fill shit in. And they're just trying to fill up 3 hours every fucking week. So like, nothing is gonna be original, nothing's gonna be exciting or anything until so like if you watch it every day, like what makes one match different than the other? Like I don't, that's why like I can only watch it once a month. But I tried watching it yesterday, like kind of like since because I did like the time to do it,
Yeah.
and like I'm just like, yo, this is I can't this is this is I can't tolerate this.
Man, if
It's
I
just
worked
nonsense.
in WWE, like my Hail Mary to save the show would be like during like a Royal Rumble, I would have like all the backyard wrestling guys just come rush into the stage and like take over.
See, they've done that before. Like,
Really?
okay, that's a perfect example what you just said. So there's and I think I mentioned this before. So there's a group called Retribution. So like it was like out of nowhere, like just like a group of like I'm gonna say maybe like it was 5 I think at the beginning. Well, it was 5. It became 5. Okay, bear with me. So there was like 5 guys out of nowhere. Like they like you don't see them. They just in hoods. They have like like the hoodie where like basically like they have a mask and like all you see is kind of like just their eyes, and like they just started wrecking everything and wrecking everybody. And it's like, oh, who are these characters? Like who are these guys? So then it became a thing where it's like later on, it starts. Then it became like 20 of them out of nowhere, and like one night it was like 20 of them, and then they went back to the 5, and then so you're like, who are these people? What do they want? And then like they're showing that like eventually they're like, well, we want to destroy WWE because there's a lot of like bad backstage this and that and blah blah blah. It's unfairness. So like we're trying to like whatever, right? And so then eventually they come out with like new masks where you see their masks and you see like, oh, that's this person, oh, that's this guy, oh, that's this guy, like, oh, I remember these are people who are like in NXT. So
Okay.
NXT is Triple H's, like the show that he runs, which is the better show. So like you see, so now that NXT is on Tuesdays or whatever, like they're like, oh, NXT wants to be like everyone's on the main roster. You know what I mean? Because we have, you know, Raw, NXT, and then SmackDown. But then, like, you can tell by like WWE standards, NXT is still developmental. It's still like the guy, like you'll see, whoever I want that guy. That guy's cool. Bring him to me. And then, like, eventually, like this Vince McMahon saying this, like Triple H, I want that guy. Oh, but like he's in the middle of a story. No, but I want him like to be on the main roster. It's like, all right, so now I gotta cut my story short with this guy, because Vince wants him. So now they bring that guy in, and then like they don't do anything with that guy. So it's like it's shit like that happens. So retribution like is like so they get signed to a WWE contract in the story, right? But wasn't their goal that they wanted to destroy this company? Why would you give them a contract? story wise.
Yeah.
So it's like, doesn't make sense. And then on top of that, it's like, it took forever for them to show the real leader, and the real leader guy was Mustafa Ali, and like it was like this came out of left field because why him, and it took so long for it to get there. It's even dumber, And then and then later on, like I'm gonna say like a month later, they eventually fucking turn their back on him. So like, so it's like, what is going on? Like you could tell that it's a lot of like chaos, and they don't know what they're doing, and it's a lot of like just every episode is just random. So it's like, don't watch it. Like just don't watch it because you're gonna complain about it anyways. It's not for adults anymore. Just stop watching.
Yeah, if I'm at the point where I get upset at watching something, I'll stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life is way easier that way, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, all right, I'm not gonna be fucking stressing myself out for this shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Any little bit of stress and I'm out.
But yeah, exactly. Like any little thing. But the thing is, it's also like I can tell that, like, I know that like wrestling fans are toxic as shit. Like it's the same. Like I've gone that what happened with you with In the Heights today, and like these past couple of days I've had with wrestling. You know what I mean? Like with wrestling fans, fucking, they are entitled to their opinion, and they think that their opinion matters more than mine. You know what I mean? It's like, oh hey, I agree to disagree, and it's like, no, you got to agree with what I say. And it's
you
like,
have to
no,
submit.
Yeah, you have to submit to that shit, and it's like, no, get out of here. Anyone sucks. And I'll continue to tell you that. And I'm gonna fuck what you say.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's wild. It's like at what point do you realize like, yo, this shit's not for me anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And why is it so hard for people to let go of that shit? Like, I can't imagine like somebody from the Attitude Era still wanted to feel that way with the stuff that they putting out now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna get that.
Because after a while, like that whole Attitude Era shit, like because things get tired. You get tired of shit. So it's like they started being OD. You know what I mean? Like with all the sex bullshit. Like did you know that there was a when Stephanie McMahon got pregnant, there was an idea where Vince wanted to be like the father of that child. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So he came up with that idea, like like so it's stuff like that. That it was like, all right, we gotta dial it back. Like,
Yeah,
way too much.
And since Vince is the guy with the money, everybody around him was like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Uh, let's think about
that's
that."
yeah, that's not cringe at all.
Yeah, let's repeat it over and over until we realize what's going on here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like it's just like I'm not saying that like I'm gonna stop watching because I still watch it, whatever. Like I still keep up to I still up to date. I say this every episode. Like so it's like take for instance last night. This is what I was gonna say. Not last night, on Sunday, there was the NXT pay-per-view, and like the last match was like a fatal 5-way type match. So there's like 5 guys. So there's the champion who's like this guy's like 6'5", 230 pounds. This guy's like a monster character, right? And like the 4 other guys were like these small, like 190-pound dudes, But like there was complaints about how like you could tell Karrion Kross, the big guy, he's the like weakest link. That's why they were like they basically would beat him up, and like he would be on the side, like outside of the ring. And then like when the 4 of the guys were in the ring, they started doing crazy shit. And then like this guy came back, and then started wrecking, fucking them up. And then they again they'll beat him up, like they'll team up on him and like put him down, and then like eventually go back and fight each other. like people, they don't even realize that like so people will complain about that, but they don't realize that like if you really think about it, look at the story from like it was a good story like being told by like like the wrestlers in a match. It's like, okay, now like these four little guys need to beat up that big guy so that it could be even. It could be, because if not, this big giant dude is just gonna fucking beat us all, like super fast because they're trying to make that guy look super strong because he's the bigger guy. He's playing his role as the big guy, and then the little guys are playing their role as like little fast, fucking chipmunks running around. The ring. So it's stuff like that is like, it can be good. It's just, it has to be special, like especially like it has to mean something. You know what I mean? A lot of the wrestling now, at least for like Raw and SmackDown or whatever, like it doesn't mean anything anymore. When you have guys that are losing, like take for instance, there was an ex-champion, ex-women's champion that lost last night to like some new girl. So stuff like that is like also you're trying to make the new girl kind of like like you want to make her look that strong, or are you trying to make this girl look weak? Like it's a lot of that. Like it just doesn't make sense. Why sacrifice an ex women's champion who like who a lot of people actually like and like wish she could be better? Why would you sacrifice her to lose to some newbie? Stuff like that. That is just like it's bad decisions. It's bad just storytelling.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't watch. You can't watch it anymore. You just have to stop.
That sucks.
Yeah, but it's all good. Wrestling is wrestling. It'll always be there.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yep.
You made me realize there's a close parallel between your love for WWE and my love for Final Fantasy, the video game.
Mm-hmm.
Where, if you remember, I used to be like a super huge fanboy for Final Fantasy, and now it's like that shit's trash.
Yeah, because it's like after a while, it's just I think it's a lot of hit and miss. You know what I mean?
Misses.
Yeah, because there's like I was a huge fan of Metal Gear Solid. Like I fucking loved 1. I liked 2, and I loved Part 3. And I felt like, yo, this is my game. Like this is gonna be a game that I'm always gonna play, type of shit. And then I tried playing Part 4. I could not play that shit. And then I tried playing other ones. I was like, yo, this is a lot of like I can't do this shit. It's it just becomes sometimes it's just we gotta leave it to the nostalgia. We gotta leave it in the past sometimes.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's when the whole Pepe Le Pew shit. Like
yeah.
again, that's
just leave it in the past.
Yeah, my childhood is ruined. It's like, what are you talking about? Just fucking put it on. Go on YouTube.
Yeah, like you can find it like pretty much anywhere. Like relax.
Like, is a sexually aggressive skunk really that important?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, oh man, that reminds me of what Kevin Hart said the other day. He's like, yeah, because cancel culture is horrible. It's like I was canceled 3 or 4 times already. I'm like, motherfucker, that's not how it works. Like, you can't get canceled 3 or 4 times. Nigga, like, what are you talking about?
On the second time, like, yo, this person's gotta fucking go, man.
Yeah, God damn it. How you get canceled twice? And that's just, I'm like, yo, you're a fucking multi-millionaire. You fucking shut down amusement parks just for your kids to play. Like,
it's fucking
you're not canceled, bro. You're not gonna be in the verge of being canceled anytime soon.
Exactly.
Fucking dumbasses with this shit.
I remember when being canceled used to be called being an asshole.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to deal with this guy anymore, so
yeah,
I'm gone.
Oh, that person's a piece of shit. Cut off from my inner circle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Problem solved. But now everybody's doing it on social media. It's like everybody's like chiming in when they don't have to. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Just have your peace.
Yeah.
Did you guys? I didn't see it, but I heard about it. Did you guys see the Fast and Furious movie?
Oh no, I haven't seen
Nah.
it.
Oh, okay.
I
I don't
haven't
want
seen
to.
any Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, okay. Do you guys? Are you guys gonna watch it? Because I was like ruin it for me
No.
because I'm not watching this.
Yeah, no. I stopped watching after the sixth one, so I'm good.
Okay.
You could tell me. You could
Okay.
ruin it for me.
This is all I'm gonna say. This is the only thing that is worth
Nah.
mentioning. They go to space.
I knew it.
I knew. Yeah,
You knew
because they show like this guy get into like a rocket
Yeah.
slash car type of thing.
Yeah. What the fuck?
At this point with
And,
Fast and Furious, I'm just like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Space, sure.
Yeah. Go ahead. Are we discover alien race that you have to drag race to save the Earth? Because I'm with it.
Martian drift, baby.
when you were talking about that what was it Skyrim in space, I wanted to mention it then, but I was like, no, let me finish.
I want to. I'm kind of curious about Fast and Furious now. I want to watch like all the movies in order, like drunk each time.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like after like a couple of movies, they are not in order anymore because apparently this is like I don't know. This is crazy. Like the Tokyo Drift is like a future film. It takes place in the future,
Oh god.
and every film that comes out after Tokyo Drift is like in the past that leads up to Tokyo Drift at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So like part 7.
That's weird.
Yeah, they don't link up with the current timeline till like part 7 for some reason. I don't know. It's fucking weird. That franchise is fucking weird.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
I just want to see how they explain this dude had a brother this entire time in 9 films that was never mentioned.
Oh, it's like
let's talk about family.
it has so spoilers. It was like something about like that like their dad was a NASCAR racer. And like somebody like they were something about like you know how like they change the car or they fix the car or whatever. Something that like there was a guy. Well, John Cena's character was the one that was blamed for like fucking up, like fucking up something that like made the car crash and like kill their dad. And like, but it wasn't him; it was somebody else or something like that. And like, and then John Cena like becomes like reunited with his brother. So like at the end, like they I guess he's part of the family now.
Was their father Dale Earnhardt?
No, no. But like, what was it? Something like because the thing was also like Nelson mentioned this too. In part 1, Vin Diesel says something about like that he like hit somebody with a wrench and like never stopped or some shit like that.
Yeah,
right?
that caused his father's crash. Yeah.
So it was like he went to prison because he killed the guy who killed his father. Something like that. And that's like how he went to prison. That's like we didn't know it was he had a brother and blah 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 blah.
You don't think Vin Diesel would have mentioned that in the first movie when he's talking about beating the shit out of the guy who caused his father's accident?
The problem was his shirts were too sleeveless.
It cut out the circulation, and I forget things afterwards.
I don't understand shirts with sleeves.
Street Sharks. Street Sharks.
Best role.
Oh shit. Well, on that note, is the perfect time to end the podcast before we dive into the ridiculousness of the Fast and Furious franchises.
Yeah,
I was gonna talk about Street Sharks.
Yeah, we could save it for the next episode. Rah!
Invite Tim on the next episode, so we just talk about Street Sharks the whole time.
And we're just growling at each other for a good minute.
Tim, you're the brown Street Shark.
Well, guys, like always, opinions like assholes. Everyone has one, and we're just a couple assholes with some opinions.
And everyone shits.
Yeah, that's it.
A couple of assholes and just whatever. Yeah.
Shits.
The
And let me
giant boobs.
let me shit out my opinions about fucking In the Heights while fucking getting bashed by the fucking woke mob.
That's really like getting yelled at while you're taking a shit. Like, yo, let me just take a shit and yell at me when I'm done.
Yeah, that's why. Because I'm usually taking a shit when I'm looking through my Facebook, and it's like these people screaming at me. It's like what?
That just makes the shit longer.
Yeah.
That's when your legs start falling asleep and shit.
Yeah.
You get up, you start stumbling a little bit when you get up.
Yeah. And to the one asshole that started this all off on Instagram that I haven't talked to you in fucking years, you piece of shit. I hope you're listening to this. And you deserve the nickname we gave you in fucking college. I'm not gonna say it now because I want to fucking shout nobody out, but you know who you are, fucking chiming in for no fucking reason with your fucking 2 cents.
If you want to shout out somebody's nickname, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. No, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, we know who you're talking about.
Oh my god.
But yeah, dude, like, don't do that next time, bro. Like, just scroll down. Just keep on scrolling, bro. You don't have to fucking comment.
Yeah.
And don't even engage afterwards. That's a hit. What's that shit too? They did fucking come in, throw the grenade, and like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
You fucking piece
Nothing
of
else
shit.
matters after my comment. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. I showed him Lin-Manuel.
Lin-Manuel, you saw? Let me send you a screenshot.
You know,
You gotta tweet it.
and to that fucking other clout chasing ass, fucking fake YouTube ass, having skinny ass Puerto Rican girl from the Bronx, no tits and ass. Yo, this bitch really said something. Like, I was like, when I hit her with that, oh, I hope Lynn sees this. She's like, she hit me with the, so what if he does? You're afraid of being a hypocrite in front of him? And I'm like, he's never going to see this. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you. I hope he sees this because he's never going to see this. Stop acting like you're going to fucking get put on.
She's the type of person who would think he would see it.
Yeah, because that's, like, you see her YouTube videos, and I was like, the latest one is that she's interviewing her cousin and it's like a little kid, and he's like interviewing, like, how was it?
Her cousin who's in the Heights is a little kid?
Yeah, yeah, he's a dancer. Yeah.
I thought it was like an actor or something.
No, I'm like, this bitch is writing the coattails. I'm like, damn, that's why you fucking going this strong? Like,
no offense to dancers or anything, but actors do dancing and then talking and shit.
There's probably a YouTube video where like they're interviewing that kid and she's in the seat right next to him.
Yeah.
And right before they cut off, she's about to say something.
Yeah. This is my cousin. Check it out. Check out my YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thanks for listening. I will check you guys out next time. Peace.
Peace.
Dumb bitch.
I'm keeping that.
Yeah.
Tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same